When people visit a Disney park, they're usually expecting some magic. Disney in recent years has forced everyone onto their phones, forcing them into that social media ping and notification spiral that they're trying to get away from, just maybe. But now it seems something else is getting into the park. Protesters have somehow gotten into Disneyland with a very large banner and unveiled it right in front of Walt Disney's Sleeping Beauty Castle. Let's talk about that on That Park Place. We got a little bit of news here, an unusual one, but we seem to come back to this subject more often than we would like, even within the same live stream. There was a protest out in May at Disney World, out on I-4 at the Disneyland exit, and it was on a specific subject. Well, it appears that those people have also gotten inside of Disneyland, not the same exact people, but the same issue here. This out of Disneyland News Today. Sure, that's a division of WDWNT. Pro-Palestine protesters are holding a banner in front of Disneyland's Sleeping Beauty Castle. Yeah, I'm very surprised that they got an entire banner into the park. I don't know how you would get that past security with the way that security works at Disney World. Is security incredibly different at Disneyland? We'll talk about that in a moment. The amount of people visiting Disneyland today matches the count in this region here. Honor the 40,000 people from here that could not live happily ever after. That has to be a shock for anyone visiting Disneyland that day. It does make me think about the fact that, again, we talk about it all the time, that this is a locals park. So you hope that this is not somebody's first time getting all of their family together and paying that top dollar to get into a Disney park. And instead of seeing magic, somebody decides that, no, this is the moment in the middle of this experience that should be for children. Maybe we could talk about whether or not it is for children anymore. Instead, we have these two people deciding to wear, let's say, politically charged gear and holding up a banner here. TikTok user Natalie Curling shared the following video, which features two protesters wearing Palestinian keffiyehs standing in front of Sleeping Beauty Castle. They hold a banner, which we've already somewhat read. A few security cast members approach, and one appears to ask the protesters to put away the banner or leave. They immediately nod and began rolling up the banner. It seems the protesters departed peacefully. Well, at least there's that. Vash, were you able to catch this video for us?
I was. No problem at all right here. This is the video as provided by that link on Disneyland Today. You can see right there, you have security officers actually approaching them, which is good. It seems like it was rather swift, or at least hopefully it was. This is kind of the issue with having such a high-profile place like Disneyland, or Walt Disney World for that matter. The castles at the respective parks are some of the most photographed places in the world, and that people making political statements, that definitely makes them a target. Now, not to go off of this specific incident too much, but this reminds me of, a time in which you had somebody who was, he was very passionate about a certain political candidate and decided to do this not once, not twice, but actually multiple times. At Disneyland, for instance, you can actually see this video provided by The Independent right here. Of this guy. He's looking both ways on the Mark Twain. Are we good? Okay, here we go. And boom, there you go. That's the banner right there that he decided to drop on everybody. And a little bit clever, that one, because, security can't actually get onto the Mark Twain as it's actually moving. So, there you go. But he wasn't done yet. Also dropped it at the Magic Kingdom up there at the railroad station. And also, too, got a little bit of a Splash Mountain action there right before that attraction closed. So these parks have been the places where people like to protest. We've seen Disneyland Paris. They take an entirely different tact, let's say, because of the laws within that region. But we've seen workers' protests actually take place in the parks, which is very interesting. No matter what the cause is, I would hope that it can at least stay outside of the gates, no matter what it is. I know a lot of people, they might, maybe we sympathize with one or the other. No, I want all this stuff outside of the park. So you want to demonstrate outside? Okay, fair enough. But with inside, let's go ahead and maintain the sanctity of the magic and the immersion just a little bit.
Right, right, and I totally agree with you, Vash. That this is something that you're not supposed to be thinking about the outside world. There's no chewing gum and there's no newspapers on Main Street, USA, in any of the parks. I got to say, it's completely inappropriate to go in and ruin somebody's holiday for this. I don't think it has the desired effect, other than the fact that we are raising I'm going to say a awareness in a way that is sighing, and just like the people who throw oil on beautiful paintings, as if Van Gogh is the reason that we all have oil in our cars today. This is not the way to get your message out in any way that strikes sympathy. It's just a play to ruin people's day, and honestly, wouldn't be surprised if it is a psyop from people in the other direction. Rogue Attraction here with a pretty good comment here. Maybe they can stop the Pride merch too. Yeah, I'm there. Jay Rasulo made a really good point in his roundtable discussion with Nelson Peltz. Just like the parks are supposed to have a berm and things are outside of the berm that don't affect what's inside of the parks, the movies need to have an area that is outside of the berm that you don't bring up here. My kids watched Remember the Titans, and this is not related to the subjects that we're talking about with anything like this, but my kids watched Remember the Titans the other day, and it is so far removed from the current political climate of today, this story of a forcefully segregated football team. And my kids had to be told what racism essentially is. They're homeschooled, and we tell them about things, but they were shocked that there were actually people who disliked someone because their skin color was different. To them, it's just, oh, well, my friend over here, Bobby, has darker skin. That's really neat, is something that one of my kids said. This is something where, we need to protect childhood innocence. And so bringing up an armed conflict in the middle of Disneyland, completely inappropriate. Trying to bring politics into Disneyland, completely inappropriate on either side of the aisle. If you want to have something that's political, people need to know going in that you're planning on bashing them over the head with something so specific. This makes me very angry for the idea. It's stepping closer to the idea that everything needs to be political, and that is not what we want. We want to. I would prefer, and I'm not a libertarian, but libertarian is about as close as I get to saying I agree with those folks. I would like a government that is so detached from my life that it doesn't freak me out when an election happens, that I don't care who gets into office, because generally speaking, they're going to leave me alone. That's as political as I'm going to get on that idea. So I don't want to be up on politics. I don't want to have to be up on politics. So thank you. Go sell crazy someplace else. We're all stocked up here. Go ahead, guys.
When it comes to escapist entertainment, whether it be the parks, whether it be the movies, we don't want this overt stuff within any of this. So people kind of bring that into the parks. I think we take a similar tack that we do if an animated film, let's say, were to feature any of these themes or slogans and so forth. It's just people want to escape. They want to forget the outside world, not be thrust or forced into it, like you see here in front of the castle. I think it really is shameful. And yeah, I mean, I am surprised that security didn't actually take them aside and say, hey, we have a no tolerance policy. We're going to have to remove you. Perhaps it's maybe not a lifetime trespass or something like that, but just for a period of time, in order to really make it clear, hey, look, we cannot tolerate this kind of action going forward, because you see how viral this story goes. You can see the temptation for others to follow in their wake.
Agreed.
Disney did not react in the way that they would normally if somebody were proposing in front of the castle. Normally they have a hissy fit. There's usually a particular persuasion of person that's running to stop people from doing that. They're not even security. Nobody stopped these people with any form of urgency. And I find that more offensive than anything else. Something as wholesome as a marriage proposal versus, something as detestable as this kind of protest. I mean, it seems like we need to have equal reactions, Disney. very poorly done.
Agreed.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media account.